guys, Jody Scheibe here. I am so excited. I'm here with my friend Ashley. I'm coming to you from San Diego, California, and I am a mom of three. I have been drinking and sharing ketones for almost 5 years now. And one of the things I love the most about our team and our company are the systems we have in place. We talk about the A system: attract, connect, and enroll. And it's so simple. And one of the most important and one of the tools I love the most for that connect part, for that C part, are our weekly guest calls. So that's what Ashley and I are going to be talking about tonight: how to invite to the guest calls, how to use them as that connect step, how to use them for third-party validation. I mean, imagine if you could have someone doing all the work for you, all the talking for you, if you just had a place to invite customers, trial pack customers, invite your friends, invite your family to hear about how ketones work, to hear people's success stories on ketones, to hear more about the business. So in this training, we're going to give you some specific verbiage. Ashley's going to go over some amazing scripts. So grab a pen and paper. You're going to learn who you're going to invite, how to invite, and how to best use this connect in the ACE model: attract, connect, enroll. This guest call is a connect tool to help move your business and go a little bit faster. Awesome. Ashley, I'm so excited to talk with everyone tonight.
Me too.
So I know you are a big lover of this guest call, or any guest call that we have during the week, right? Whether it's about the product or the business. So maybe you could start by explaining, where do we even start? Like, we've got this call, right? Who do we invite to it? Where do we start?
Yeah, well, I love what you said, because basically it's the same steps for every call, whether it be a guest call about Dollar Keto Club or just our regular guest call. I always like to call it Maximize Your Ketones because I'm stuck back there, but same steps for whatever call it might be. So what I do first is I'll write down a list of my current customers, my trial pack people, my gray icons in my back office, and then people that I've never approached, like my chicken list. So I know you're like me and you sit back and you watch social media and you think, oh my gosh, I would love to have her on my team, but I'm scared to ask her. So that would be someone that I would write down on my chicken list. For sure.
I love that. I actually haven't thought about my chicken list in a long time, but so you guys heard. So I heard current customers, trial pack customers, gray icons. Now, a gray icon, when you click on manage community, means someone made an account, but they haven't ordered yet. That is like low-hanging fruit, so to speak. Like, right? They're already in the system. They just need to place the order. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Ashley. That is key. The gray icons. And what if every week or every guest call we did tap into that chicken list? I mean, what we are going to learn here on this call is it's not actually about how many people you get to show up on the call. It's about how many people you invite and start the conversation with and plant the seed. So awesome, Ashley. Okay, so that's our list of people that we want to invite. So then how do you start the conversation about inviting?
Yeah, well, I have a couple little scripts. I love scripts because they just help to keep me on track, and then they help to keep me from puking on people, So really, I know everybody that knows me knows that I love scripts, but that is why. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start inviting, and you can do this however it works best for you. So Jody, like, I know that you love to do videos and like voice clips. So if you're like Jody and you like videos and voice clips, do that. If you're like me, I love scripts. So I'm going to like copy paste something to invite depending on who I'm inviting. So let's say first that I'm going to invite someone that has never expressed interest. Okay. So hopefully you've got your pen and paper, and I would just say something like this to them. Hey, I have found something and I feel amazing. It's giving me more energy, focus, better sleep, and mood. And I've even taken off a few pounds. I have a private Zoom tonight where you can be a fly on the wall. If I sent over the link, would you be able to hop on? So what's important there is first to tweak that script so that it sounds like you. If you don't talk like that, like change it up, because they're going to be like, who are you? But that's how I talk. Second would be to always end in a question so that they feel like they have to respond to you. You don't ever want to say, I hate to talk in like definites or whatever, but I'm going to. You don't ever want to say, hey, if you feel like it, or if you want to get back to me. Like, it's more powerful language to say, if I sent you the link, would you be able to hop on? So
yeah, 100%. And also, just to piggyback off that, you don't want to say, here's the link for the call without asking them if they would like it. There's something psychological about getting someone's buy-in, so to speak. Once they've said yes to one thing, they're more apt to actually get on the call. So that's a huge piece of advice. And yes, make it you. Like, if you talk like, hey girl, say, hey girl. If you don't talk like that, don't invite someone like that, because they're going to think it's weird. And we're not about being weird. Like, our heart is to help people, get them on the call, share ketones, share the business, share the Dollar Keto Club. So just be yourself. And yes, I personally do love voice memos because I think people can hear my authenticity on it. So I would be like, hey, Ashley, I know you've been watching what I'm doing. You sent me a message and I know you watched that campfire video. You know what? We're having a private Zoom tomorrow night. I was just wondering if you'd be interested in hopping on and listening like a fly on the wall while you're cooking dinner. I think you would love the information. Would you love the information for the call? And again, ask with the question. So I use the like fly on the wall language a lot, because a lot of the people I know are very busy moms, and they're nervous about having to hop on a call. So I try to make it a little less weird. Like, you can listen in like a fly on the wall. And another thing, Ashley, that I've seen you do that I think works really well is you kind of give another layer of incentive to hop on the call. So do you want to kind of go over that? Because I love your PS and your scripts, like PS.
Well,
you don't have to do this, but I think it's awesome. And I think it's another way to get people to hop on. So can you tell people kind of your like little incentive that you kind of add to your script?
Yeah. And I don't do this all the time. I do it sometimes. It's depending on if I have like free stuff laying around, because we do get a lot of things for free. And you have to remember too, you're a business owner. And so you're building a business. So like, you can use like your Prove It bucks to build your business. It's not just for you to drink free ketones, So like what I do here is I'll say, PS, I'm doing a drawing for a 3-day trial and shaker for those who attend. And then what I'll do is just put everybody's name in the hat who attended. And then I'll do a drawing, and just that little incentive, because people like free stuff, might push them over the edge to get on where they wouldn't before.
Yeah, 100%. It's amazing what people will do for a free packet of ketones. Maybe you picked up some of the newer flavors that aren't available. It's amazing what your current customers would do to be able to have a packet of Groovy Grape or whatever that latest new flavor was. So one of the things I love about our team is that these scripts that you are hearing from Ashley are all in our Better Starts Here Facebook page. You can go to the search bar and type in inviting to calls. I actually did that this morning just to be able to see how simple it is for you guys, whether you learn visually or whether, this call, this training is helpful to you. But if you're like, wait, what did Ashley say? I didn't get it all down. You guys utilize the Better Starts Here page. This training will be there. The scripts are going to be there. It's always there for you. So did we miss anything about inviting on those scripts, Ashley?
Well, that one was for someone that's never expressed interest. So another one that I use for someone that has expressed interest about ketones, I would just say, kind of like what you said before, hey, I know you've been interested in ketones. I have a private Zoom tonight where you can be a fly on the wall. if I sent you over a link, would you be able to hop on? And then PS, I'm doing a drawing. So that would be one. And probably business, Jody. So how would people, do you want to talk about that? How
Sure.
people could invite for the
Very
business?
similar, right? It's very similar.
Yeah. And so I think that something that gets missed a lot is current customers, because they're thinking, well, why would I want to invite current customers? Well, because you want them to learn about the opportunity. You want them to learn about how they can get their ketones for free as a customer. You want them to learn how they can also maximize their experience in drinking ketones, because they may pick up a tip from Jody on that call that I didn't give them, that I don't even know about. So, and it just gets them ingrained more in our community. So what I say to them is, if they've never, this was a really, I like this one, because this would be for your chicken list, for someone that you're like, gosh, I really want Jody to join me, but I haven't even talked to her about ketones. So, hey, I found something and I would love for you to be a part of it. I think you would love the product and crush the business with me. Would you be open to learning more? I have a private Zoom tonight where you can be a fly on the wall. If I sent you over the link, would you be able to hop on?
I love it. Can you guys hear it's the same type of verbiage with just
Yeah.
a little bit of a tweak? And here's the most important part about all this inviting. I mentioned it earlier. It's not about whether everybody actually has a chance to hop on. It's the power that you will have in the follow-up to offer them the replay of the call. That is so key, because if they answer, oh, my daughter has volleyball tomorrow, I can't hop on. Like, I want you to think in your head, yes, they just gave me the opening to say, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. If I can get my hands on the recording, write this down. If I can get my hands on the recording, would you be interested to listen to it? So I kind of like to say if, like, not, oh, I'll just send you the recording. Like, if I'm able, I think it would be really awesome. Would you like the information to listen to? And when I use that verbiage, Ashley, I don't know about you, but 9 times out of 10, it's a yes.
Yeah.
So that replay is gold. That replay is key, because if you invited 3 people, if you invited 5 people, and maybe none of them could get on the call, you still won. You won because you've got 3-5 people to follow up with and offer that recording. It's such a powerful tool.
Yeah. Well, and then after they watch the recording, you don't want to just send them the recording, send it to them, and then maybe follow up with them 24 to 48 hours later, if you haven't heard from them, and say, what did you like best about the recording? So I remember getting stuck there when I was.
Yeah, I think that's actually really key, because once we send it, like, fortune is in the follow-up, right? That is why hopefully you guys are all using your Rhino trackers. That's in our Better Start tier page, where you write down the people you're starting conversations with, because this is a great way to keep track of who to invite. But it's also a good way to keep notes on, oh, I sent the recording to the guest call. And then, follow up. Remember, Ashley said, this is your business. This is your business. So treat it like your business. The other thing I really want to encourage you guys is, I think it's awesome to hop on the guest calls myself and listen in. I learn stuff. Like, leaders are always learners, right? And even doing this for almost 5 years, there's times I learn things. But there's so much power in actually using this call as the connect, where you're taking that 30 minutes during the call, and maybe you're looking for new business and letting the call do the work for you. Or maybe you're sitting down to dinner with your children and letting the call do the work for you. So I just want to reiterate that we have a lot of guest calls, but we have them as a tool. It's not that you have to personally be sitting on each and every single one. If you had a couple people on and they're like, I was blown away by Ashley's story on the guest call, maybe you want to go back and listen to it to see what really hit them close to home. But it's these calls aren't meant for you as a promoter to be like, oh gosh, another call, I have to hop on. These calls are meant for you to go, oh my gosh, I'm going to have 3 or 4 people who get to share with my potentials and get them interested for me. So I just want to make that distinction, because I think a lot of times people are like, oh, another call. I can't make that call. I'm not going to invite to it.
Yes.
No. Yeah. Invite to it and think, oh my gosh, this is so awesome that we have this tool that I can be sitting down with my kid having dinner and I've got 5 people listening to the Dollar Keto Club. Mm-hmm. That's the power in the ACE, right? Attract, connect. This guest calls a connect.
Yeah.
And then hopefully enroll or experience. So
I'm so glad you said that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, even myself, I feel like I want to be on every call, but I just want to work smarter, not harder. And that connect step is to take some pressure off of you. And there's something to be said about third-party validation. I don't know how many of you have kids who are listening to this, but I can tell my kid, oh my gosh, your room is pigsty. Like, make your bed, right? I've got teenagers and adult children now, but like, make your bed. And my kid will, like, it'll sail right past them. But if they have a friend come over and their friend's like, oh my God, your room's a pigsty, they clean it up like that. Like, they hear it differently. They react differently to different people. So that third-party validation on these calls is just so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to say, you kind of made me think of something, is not only do you want to like post about the call and put it in your stories, but there is power in private messaging. And it takes me back to like whenever I first started, one of the girls that had recruited me, instead of just like posting in our team page, hey, we have a call or whatever, she private messaged me and said, hey, I want to personally invite you to this call tonight. If I can get you the link, would you be able to hop on? And I'm like, at the grocery store, I still remember I was checking out and I'm like, oh my gosh, so-and-so personally invited me to this call. Like, I got to clear my night. So there's power in personally inviting people, sending private messages versus just posting and praying. And that works for every single thing that we do in our business, whether it's a flavor drop, it doesn't matter. It's a guest call. If you personally invite people, there's just something like magical about that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ashley, because I kind of think of like the post and pray, or maybe you're in your story. Here's a tip to do in your story. I'll give you the tip in a second, but like posting or putting something in your story is kind of like you're widening your net, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But if you literally can take your fishing pole with your bait, you're going to get that fish sooner. And that's that private message. But like in your story, I think what works really well is a video of you going, hey, you guys ever wonder why I'm so in love with this magic mama juice? We're having a private call tomorrow. If would you be interested in listening in? And you can put a poll in your story. And that's just another way to kind of widen the reach. You just never know. People are watching your stories if they're public, that you may not have access to private message. So that's why that's key. But the power, no matter what you're doing, whether you're inviting to a guest call, like Ashley said, or you're literally sharing ketones and you're brand new, the power is in those direct reach outs, 100%. So yeah, I mean, are you guys excited about using these guest calls now as a tool? Right? Ashley, did we miss anything? We went over.
No, I'm ready to go invite.
We went over who to invite, how to invite, why you should invite, how to use them, how to use the power of the replay. There are replays from certain calls that I kind of keep saved in my phone. If I know we had a really powerful man share and I've got a male client, I may send them that replay if they missed the one last week that was all women sharing. So I kind of keep them. I use them as tools. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for more like business guest calls. I'm excited for more product guest calls. I'm excited to not have to do all the work validating and explaining the product and the business. So
that's the best.
That's the best. All right, you guys. So invite. Search inviting to calls if you want those scripts again. Reach back with the person you're working with if you need any clarification. I hope this was valuable to you. Those guest calls for Dollar Keto Club, for how to maximize your product, they are gold. So hopefully you took this information, you're going to put it into play, and your business is just going to explode. Thanks so much for watching.
Bye. Okay, does it end?
Yeah, Maddie will cut.